Hello, 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 hello. This is Tips of the Unknown, and I'm here to talk about some news or rumors that broke out yesterday. I'm making this video about less than 2 hours before Crown Jewel. I am semi awake for this one, so bear with me here. Um, let's go ahead and just jump right into this article. Um, this has to do with Saturday night's main event on November 1st and Wargames in San Diego. So it seems like after Seth Rollins most likely is going to beat Cody Rhodes um, to get his little Saudi ring, or crown jewel ring, or whatever. Um, he's gonna have another program with CM Punk, which I don't mind because I love the rivalry and they just keep on putting bigger matches. So it'll be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Again, this is rumored. All this is rumored, so take it with a grain of salt. Also, this came from Dave Meltzer, and so Dave has been wrong on a numerous amount of things. But I don't mind this one. I don't mind this one. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, Saturday night's main event, November 1st. Seems like that's where they're going. Um, like I said, another banger match. I mean, I kind of figured because I think they're gonna try to just move on from this eventually. Let everyone go off to the separate corners. Maybe this is around the time where they might do the start doing the draft. Probably after War Games. Here's my thing about the draft because everybody's been wondering. They keep saying, "Oh, the draft's gonna happen here. The draft's gonna happen. Draft's gonna happen after WrestleMania. The draft's gonna happen after SummerSlam. The draft's gonna happen." Like what was it? Like a few weeks ago. I think the draft is gonna happen on the first Raw of Netflix. Clip this. Even if I'm wrong, just clip it. Um, I think that's when the draft's gonna happen. Honestly, because it's a new year and then means everybody's gonna be switching around. So I expect that to happen. I think the draft will not happen until the first Raw of the new year on Netflix. So, and I think they're gonna make it a big deal, and they're gonna. I know that they were gonna talk about using ESPN for that shit too. So yeah. But anyways, what I'm saying here is that they're trying to just finally end this CM Punk, Seth Rollins situation, and I just feel like this is probably their way of doing it. Seth Rollins is going to beat CM Punk mostly by crook because he's got his guys, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and somebody else, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later as soon as we finish talking about Saturday night's main event. Next up, for Saturday night's main event is Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton once again to complete their trifecta. Tiffany has came out on top twice, I believe. No, one. I think one ended in count out in DQ. I think that was the latest one, and then the one at SummerSlam where Tiffany won so damn quickly. That was fucking crazy. But yeah. So I'm hoping Jade's doing all right since she got that nasty gash. I guess that's why she hasn't been there. Probably also suffering a concussion. But they put on some pretty good matches. But I think Tiffany's gonna hold on to this. I like I said for Crown Jewel in my earlier video. I think Stephanie Vaquer is gonna win it just because I think she needs to solidify, and I think WWE wants to solidify her as like a credible champion. So, not to say that she's not, because I think she is, but just in the line of logic thinking, to fans and stuff like that, they don't want her to lose on her first big outing. So I think that she'll beat Tiffany Stratton. But honestly, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, I'm fine with that. I think Tiffany Stratton once again retains. And I think after that, we're going to have Bianca Belair come back. And we're going to have a feud with Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair. and I think Bianca Belair is going to win on her first outing against Tiffany Stratton. And I know some people might say, "Oh, well, look at her. She's over there taking the spotlight. It should have been somebody else who got in that role." But no, no. Bianca has not even been in the main event role. I don't understand why people hate Bianca so much. Other than probably some of them are racist. Um, I think this sets up her versus Jade pretty well because Jade can't beat Tiffany on three separate occasions. But Bianca beat her on her first try. And also the whole thing with the big three that separated and how she felt like Bianca, you know, kind of betrayed her, which don't necessarily get, but for the way that they're trying to make this storyline out to be. And Bianca, I don't think she's going to be a heel. She doesn't need to be a heel. I think she's in that John Cena, Cody Rhodes situation where I just think she's too important as a babyface to turn heel. So, yeah. Jade will be the one. And you kind of see a little bit of it happening. So, for me, I think that's what's going to happen. Tiffany Stratton beats Bianca Belair. Tiffany Stratton beats Jade Cargill. Bianca Belair comes back from her injury and beats Tiffany Stratton. Bianca Belair beats Tiffany Stratton, becomes champ. This sets off a rivalry between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair that will be set up for this coming WrestleMania. Again in Las Vegas. Thank you, TKO, for that shit. And then another one is Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. Now, this one is already scheduled for next week in San Jose. So, I don't know if they're going to do like a trifecta. But I think this is setting up what they wanted to do for WrestlePalooza. Which I felt like you really needed to do that for WrestlePalooza. Which was, I think it was Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and I think Drew McIntyre. All three of them were talking about they wanted Randy Orton to come in, kind of try to help out Cody Rhodes and give revenge on Drew McIntyre. Accidentally does something, and that costs Cody Rhodes the match to Drew McIntyre. McIntyre wins the WWE Championship. That's what they wanted to do, and what they pitched the idea to the higher ups, but for whatever reason they said no, we'll just go ahead with a straight up match and have Drew McIntyre with again some Drew McIntyre being Drew McIntyre circumstances lose the match, and I thought that's kind of fucking lame. It's not to say it wasn't a good match because it was. It just was flat. It lacked something. And for the first PLE on ESPN, you needed to do something shocking, and you did nothing with that. So, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here on Saturday night's main event. Not Saturday night's main event, but at Survivor Series Wargames, that's what they're going to have the title. So that takes Cody Rhodes out of Wargames, like I thought he was probably going to be. Well, did I actually think it was going to be? I think. I can't remember. No. I didn't think he was going to be in it because I felt like he was going to fight somebody else. I didn't know who yet, but makes sense it'll be Drew. And next up, so I think Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, that's going to be, they're going to put on a bigger match in San Jose, and they're going to put on another banger match here, and Saturday night's main event. And I'm very happy. I really enjoyed SmackDown this last night. It was so much more fun and intriguing, creative. You can tell it was different. And so I just hope they keep it up. You got the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. They got their war paint on, and they're standing toe to toe. it was a little weird to see Nikki Cross standing up to Solo. But I guess what's his name couldn't make the trip. Uncle Howdy. So there's that. They got the new entrances back. I mean the old entrances back. The uh, the Street Profits and Shinsuke Nakamura. I forgot how it's been so long since I've heard that, and when I heard it, man, I was just like I was in shock and totally enjoying myself singing along with Nakamura's shit, man. It's a banger entrance music. I love it so much, and so glad they got it back. And reportedly, Drew and Sheamus are amongst others who want their OG entrances back. So hopefully they get what they want, and WWE. I don't want to say for anyone to get fired, but you got to do a better job of making entrance music for superstars, and I feel like Def Rebel has not done that, except for the Bloodline. But that's mostly because the Bloodline really, have the input in what they want to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're heavily involved and be like, no, we're doing it this way. And not a lot of them have that kind of power, so that sucks. But yeah, I'm not saying to get Jim Johnston back, although that would be awesome. But get somebody that's going to care. I mean, make these entrances matter. I mean, truly matter. I like Bianca Belair's. Like, there's like some that are pretty good, but I think Bianca's is way before Def Rebel, anyways. But anyways, so yeah. Hopefully these creative changes are for the keep working out, because it's Road Dogg still at the top, and everybody else got switched out. Well, you're safe for your Triple H's run for the most part, so we'll see. And then I think next up would be all right. So here we go. We're going to talk about Survivor Series, Wargames, San Diego. Some of this stuff already sounds like it's going to be pretty cool, and I really wish, and I keep saying this, I really, really wish I can go San Diego. I mean, probably will be going next year, but I really wanted it this year. For a numerous amount of reasons, this being one of them. Survivor Series, it's going to be Dirty Dom versus John Cena. He'll be defending his Intercontinental Championship. I think John Cena wins this one. Just because I think he'll get another shot. I honestly feel like I mean, I know he wants to put guys up on his way out. I just don't like him losing in his retirement tour. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch. I think Dom's winning it. And here's the thing, man. I know everybody was talking about they want him to face Gunther, John Cena to face Gunther in his last match. I want Obafemi. I don't want Gunther. I think Gunther, to me, I'm not saying I think Gunther's great. I just I don't want to see Gunther do. He already had his thing with Goldberg, and that was, setting off Goldberg. That's what he's doing. So if they're gonna make it seem like Gunther is just retiring legends, like he's the new legend killer in a way, then I guess it's fine. But I would rather prefer Obafemi over Gunther. But that's just me. It's one way because it's a big way to bring in somebody, a guy who looks amazing in NXT and can really just dive right into it. And he looks like he can go. And what a way to to really bolster someone and have Obafemi, his first big match will be against Big Match John, and for him to send John packing. That would be great. So I think Obafemi would be a perfect choice rather than Gunter. But anyways, yeah. Survivor Series, Dominic Mysterio, John Cena, Intercontinental Championship. I would not be mad about this match if this match would be a lot of fun. And we know John Cena's going to try to push him and push him and push him like he usually does, like to future stars, and see if they really got it. And that brings us to, I believe, the Wargames match. Okay. So, we're going to start with the men's. So, here it is. It'll be on the men's side of things for War Games match. I know people wanted a traditional like elimination match like they used to do. It's crazy, and I have said this, how many times people were complaining about the elimination tag team match, and then when we got War Games, it was all amazing, and then now people like we want to go back to the elimination tag team match. It's just like I do feel though, I will say this. I love the War Games matches. I think they're great. But if you had to ask me what I would choose War Games over elimination match all day. But if you wanted to keep it fresh, I would say either make the men's or the women's match an elimination match, and then the other match is War Games match. I would do it that way, so then people would then shut the fuck up and then be like, okay, they'll find something else to bitch about, but at least you'll solve that one problem. Anyways, so in the men's War Games match, we got the Vision, which I kind of figured would be part of it, Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. These other two, though, are coming out of nowhere. Well, Brock Lesnar, I do kind of get because, they already had him and Heyman kind of, reigniting their relationship. And then, so it made sense because, from a business standpoint, and I feel like we could get some things happening between Braun Breaker and just not liking Brock Lesnar, so we could get that happening. And Austin Theory, this one was different, but I can kind of see it. Austin Theory kind of gonna be like the Randy Orton of this situation. Like I said, Austin Theory is great. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. But I think he really needs to be the babyface. So if I'm looking at a babyface that's going to turn eventually, it would be Austin Theory. So I think Austin Theory should be with the group probably after this coming WrestleMania, and then you'll start to see things start to happen where Theory starts to slowly become a babyface, because I think Theory connects more with the fans as a babyface, and you kind of saw like babyface tendencies and how they were getting drawn to him. And then watching that documentary, that little documentary piece that they had that involved him, I think that's where Austin Theory can shine really. I just feel like as a heel, he's just already reached his limit, and so that's why I feel like this is kind of weird. Unless they're just using Austin Theory as a name as a placeholder for probably an Ethan Page, which I don't see him leaving NXT because I know CW really loves him. Like they love Ethan Page, and I think he's fantastic. I love him in NXT, so I wouldn't want him to go right now. But it could be just on a loaner. And they could just do Austin Theory's name as a name place. But if it is Austin Theory actually kind of joining the Vision, then fine. But eventually he has to be the one to turn. It can't be Braun Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. It's got to be Austin Theory. He's the clear choice. And again, it's another situation where him and Rollins are teaming up because he was part of the whole Messiah crew as well. So, there you go. So I guess from that it makes sense that Theory would be. It just came the name came out of nowhere. Again, take this with a grain of salt because Dave's been wrong about plenty before, but you never know. He could be right. And then again, he could be right, and then they just changed it because we watched WWE Unreal, and they changed things so much, and you can see they just changed things so much in that damn writers' room. So, anyways, again, all of this could be true, and then it all gets changed. Like, okay, I'll explain in a minute. All right, so and then on the other side, you got CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, and Jey Uso, and then there's like a talk between Jimmy Uso or LA Knight. It would make sense if it's Jimmy. But I think it would be Jimmy. I just feel like LA Knight not being in there. LA Knight could cause some shit, but that's all. I just don't feel like LA Knight would be a part of that. I think it would be Jimmy Uso, because again, you already have one disruptor in there, CM Punk, and that'll be enough to. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my eyes, and my eyes are about to close on me. Ah, no, don't. Um, and I feel like it makes sense. You already have one disruptor. You don't need another one. So I feel like Jimmy Uso would be the better pick. And this is really, in a way, going to set up Bloodline 2.0, which I am making a video about afterwards. So I feel like that's what's happening. And people want to talk about Jacob Fatu came out of nowhere. Well, that's his family. And I'm pretty sure, and here's the thing, I'm gonna mention this in the video about Bloodline 2.0. I feel like Jay was calling Jacob at one point. I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now, obviously, it could have been him calling Roman for more advice, but it could easily be Jay calling Jacob. And just imagine Jacob having stare down moments with Bronson. Not Bronson. With Braun Breaker or with Brock Lesnar. Now, here it is, man. I'm rooting for everybody to stomp the living hell out of Brock Lesnar. I'm calling for all the Samoans, look, and CM Punk here and there, but mostly all the Samoans to go up there and just literally stomp the living crap out of Brock Lesnar. Just beat the living shit out of Brock Lesnar. I don't give a damn. Just knock his ass out. That's what I'm hoping for. And Jacob Fatu don't play, man. I love Jacob Fatu, and I love to see him in the title picture. But here in Wargames, it makes sense. He's with family, and I think he vibes more with Jay. And I think it'd be kind of cool for him. And you've seen him already in a couple of things with Jay and Jimmy online, where he's doing the yeet, doing the dancing and stuff like that for like live events. So that'd be really great. And I kind of dig the men's. It's just a lot of intrigue in that, and future WrestleMania main events right there in that one match. All right, and now here it is from the women's side. I'm gonna start off with AJ Lee returning, which I figured she would after Crown Jewel. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Io Sky versus Becky Lynch, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, and WWE NXT star Lash Legend. Again, these are 2 other names like in the men's, but this one for the women's that I just feel like came out of nowhere. Like, I don't understand this. Obviously, they're gonna build to it. I just don't understand Nia Jax and Last Legend. Last time I checked, Nia Jax and Last Legend were feuding. But does that mean Last Legend finally getting called up? Because that would be really cool. Because I think Last Legend is ready to be on the main roster already. And I actually kind of was thinking that she would be on there when the draft happened, but here we are. Maybe the draft. No, I'm still sticking with it. I'm still sticking with the draft is happening and on the first Raw of the new year on Netflix. I'm still sticking with that one. Okay. So, anyways, um, yeah, Nia Jax and Last Legend came out of nowhere. So I'm just wondering, and I'm hoping they do this. They switch out Nia Jax, and I love Last Legend, but let's swap her out for Raquel and Roxanne, and you switch out Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for, and again, I love Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I love them as a tag team. I'm really kind of digging Charlotte, kind of just having a new role, and it seems like she's actually having fun, and I think that's really great. Um, you're really starting to see her shine more and be more herself. So I'm really happy for Charlotte or Ashley. For those of you who don't know her real name. Um, but if we could swap out Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and put in Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, that makes so much more sense because we already have them feuding already on Raw. And see, I just feel like that leads up to War Games. So, like, again, all this is plans are always subject to change. So I'm pretty sure, like, all this right here is just like ideas that were thrown out. But Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax and Last Legend are just four names that I just did not think would appear in War Games for the women. I'm still sticking with, and I'm still sticking with it until it's official. I'm still saying it's Lyra Valkyria and Bayley on the women's side, along with Rhea Ripley, AJ Lee, and Io Sky. And on the other side, I still feel like it should be Raquel and Roxanne alongside Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Becky Lynch. So, that was the rumor mill that happened with Saturday night's main event and War Games. Now, all things can obviously change. I feel like Saturday night's main event is more cemented than anything else. Tiffany and Jade can obviously change. If Jade's not ready, then obviously I feel like they'll put Bianca in that spot. But the Survivor Series thing, I feel like that's still a bit ways out. So that can obviously change. And I just feel like Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jackson, Last Legend gonna get swapped out for the names I already mentioned. And I feel like for the guys, it's just weird to see Austin Theory. And I get Brock Lesnar being part of the group because Heyman's gonna ask for his help. But Austin Theory is a name that I just feel like came out of nowhere. And it just may feel a little weird. And it'll take a little getting used to just because I feel like they've already done this with him and Rollins with the Messiah group. And I just feel like you're already kind of sort of making his way to being a babyface. It's so kind of weird that you're jumping right back into making him a heel. So, if anything, eventually he'll be like, I'm going to say like exactly the Sami Zayn version of the group. Sami Zayn version of this group. But eventually he's going to be a babyface. I feel like that's what's going to happen. And you're setting him up that way. So, hopefully that's the case. Because that's who, out of anybody, that's who I see becoming a face. And I think Austin Theory would really, it would do his career a lot of good for him to be a babyface. So, that is it. Those are my thoughts for Saturday night's main event and War Games rumored plans. Will they happen? We'll see. Um, I think some things will change about it, but I think for the most part, a lot of this is going to stay the same. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Now it's less than an hour before Crown Jewel starts. So, I'll make one more video and then pray to God that I do not fall asleep before Crown Jewel, because I'd be really disappointed at myself for doing that. God, I'm tired. Tired. Alright, anyways, you guys, thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. You guys just please stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.